My name is Akram Chowdhury. I'm from Bangladesh. We just started an organization called Institute of Strategic Recovery Studies for Disaster Resilience and Research, ISRS DRR. And this is, we, in fact, this organization we have started to campaign and mobilize public opinion for resilience recovery, planning and implementation for the government, because still our government, it was heavily dependent upon the relief. When the disaster come, they thought that relief is the only, kind of need of the people. And but slowly they could understand that the relief is actually not the solution. Solution is more. Then they shifted to DRR, disaster risk reduction, and so still the recovery planning is a new concept in Bangladesh. Building back better, just new concept in Bangladesh. In fact, it is IRP, the International Recovery Platform, who promoted this concept to Bangladesh. We had a kind of 2 days recovery planning workshop in cooperation with IRP. So government was there, the minister was there, secretary was there, and whole lot of people belonging to disaster management team or director they call, they were there. So now, and also the chairman of the standing committee of disaster ministry, the parliamentary standing committee chairman was there. He's also attending this time here. So the Build Back Better concept has been actually known to the circle, but the challenge still is there, because there are they call SOD. The SOD, the Standing Order on Disaster. There's lots of committee, interministerial committee, and there are even earthquake committee. A whole lot of committees there, headed by even minister, prime minister, headed by minister himself. So these are not activated. So on ad hoc basis, they have a focal point of different ministries, but they never met. So I think that when I experienced about this Build Back Better concept by IRP in Bangkok 6th ministerial meeting, I thought that this should be the major should be the concern of government. So therefore, I came back from that Bangkok meeting and tried to motivate the minister and also the secretaries about that. And after that, we had also opportunity to meet in Washington, D.C., the Reconstruction 2 meeting, where actually the concept was more even clear. And then we talked to IRP, and IRP decided to have a meeting in Dhaka. So in cooperation with the government and our organization, we had a 2-day very successful meeting where Jerry Patterton and also Singo Kochi was there. So things are now almost ready, and we have also planning with the IRP to have a 3-day meeting in Dhaka where other ministerial people would be invited. So this is the short, kind of involvement of mine. Still, the minister is there, and other member of the high-level officials is there. I'm trying to brief them about all those things, and they accept it now, the things. Our advocacy somehow won. Now, what I'm actually presenting here is a case, that Bangladesh is a disaster-prone country. I hope you know better than me. I'm just here. We don't have earthquake that much, but we have flood storm, tropical cyclone, storm, which is very devastating, kill people, damages houses, lots of. I mean, there are numbers. I am not going to tell all those, but then it is actually a serious case. Like in Sidor, for example, 15 November 2007, it's a very devastating, kind of cyclone, Sidor we called. Then tropical cyclone Ayla, 2009, May 25th, and tropical storm called Mahasen in May 16, 2013. There is a number of that kind of devastating cyclone is there, and this is I am just focusing on tropical cyclone Ayla, actually, which was hit in Bangladesh May 25th, 2009. Next, please. And this is all about the facts that came out of a evaluation report by some international organization. They actually organize the evaluation report, and then evaluation in response to the crisis. These facts came up. So next is lessons learned from tropical cyclone Ayla. Next, please. Okay. In the evaluation report, it was clear that after that cyclone Ayla, there is a lot of kind of gaps. One of them is lack of communication facilities. They said that, well, the WASH cluster report states that those worst affected by the cyclone were the least addressed by the organization due to the lack of communication facilities. All the communication disrupted, so therefore people actually who handling all those things were not aware where the problem is deep. Then there was a weak coordination, and the recovery needs assessment report of the ECHO highlights that cooperation was weak, and most agencies implemented their own program following their own recovery strategy with very limited cross-checking or coordination with other agencies, resulting in some overlap of services and areas. So there is a lot of overlap because there is no coordination. Then there is one strong point was that the presence of NGOs helped, but the thing is that that the NGOs presence is highly in villages where the access is very easy, and it means that many NGOs, many NGOs are concentrated in some easy to go areas, whereas many affected pockets remain uncovered. Then there is a point also, the system for selection of the beneficiaries needed. There is no beneficiaries tracking system, so therefore lots of people are not been covered because there is no actually, and there is a duplication also, overlap. I suggested when I was a member of the Parliamentary Standing Committee on Disaster Ministry, I also suggested that there should be a kind of a data bank who could be, those are very poorest of the poor. If there is a data bank, they could easily, get the benefit out of that data bank. Then there is also suggestion build back better. Build back better is essential. So it says, the report says several international organizations involved in the ILA response were already considering sustainable solution for delivering relief in key sector, safe drinking water, livelihood, shelter, ensuring that reconstruction would be able to withstand the threats of any new extreme natural event. So therefore, Build Back Better is in the report was available, although it is not available in the government documents. Then there is a recommendation also. It says that coordination mechanism at national level should be there. Then strong monitoring system should be there. Set up emergency operation center at local levels. Then number 2, involve district and community levels, information management process and coordination, beneficiary tracking system, empowerment of local communities be there. So these are the recommendations of the evaluation of the humanitarian organizations. They're done in cooperation with the disaster management Department of Disaster Management. Now, the recovery or resilient recovery, the concept, as I've said, very new. So there's a management act they called Disaster Management Act of 2012, and there is no provision of that kind of provision that's supporting what we call recovery reconstruction. But government can do it by way of making rules and or amendments in the amendment in the national laws. The Management Act. So there should be a initiative from the government to amend the needed amendment. There is a very extensive rules which call SOD, means that Standing Order on Disaster, where National Disaster Recovery Committee could be included. There are lots of committees of the government, even I said earthquake committees, interministerial committees, but there is no committees disaster recovery committee. As the previous lady says, that there should not be committee, but in this case we should have a committee, because I have seen in Bangladesh that without any governmental structure, government people cannot move, they cannot do anything, they do not give attention to anything if there is no kind of governmental kind of mandate. And there is a fund is there also, but this has not been implemented, the funding. So therefore, National Disaster Recovery, therefore National Disaster Management Fund and District Disaster Management Fund can be established. Next, the currently we have a national plan for disaster management, which will be end up in this year 2015. There should be another one 2016 to 2020. So there we can plan for the National Disaster Response and Recovery Fund, National Risk Reduction Fund. We can still, there is a scope that we can put it into the new national plan. And that in national plan, this national plan for disaster management, they have 7 goals. There could be another goals which it could be, there is nothing in resilience recovery committee or committee on recovery and reconstruction. So that could be one committee over there. Still there is a scope. And hopefully after 3-day program, national recovery planning program with the IRP in Bangladesh, maybe it can be, it could promote the cause. Standing order on disaster, I've already mentioned it. Then there is also, next please. This is the National Disaster Management Council, where everything is there, but then many committees, for example, the grassroots committees at the village level or even union level, they are not being activated. There is no meeting at all. So, I mean, I also want to share from you how we could do that. I mean, there is committee, there is everything, but they could not, often sit, and there is no preparation for any future kind of disaster. As I mentioned about the 6 ministerial program in Bangkok, where the investing in recovery for resilience IRP program motivated me that we could have a kind of investing in recovery can be an opportunity to build back better and safer, and hence should be the adequately integrated in HFA2 or whatever it is called. Then I have mentioned also the World Reconstruction Conference. So after the Reconstruction meeting in Washington, we came to Bangladesh and we drafted an action plan. And that action plan we are already submitted to the government on 22nd September. And in that national plan, we told about national recovery platform should be there. Then we have said about the localized PDNA tools, conduct PDNA training for relevant stakeholder, and then we have also mentioned that integrate recovery of resilience, integrate resilience recovery into the different kind of documentation, including the 7th 5-year plan of Bangladesh. So there is a actually after the cyclone Sidor, which hit Bangladesh on 15 November 2007, there is a first PDNA done by the international donor community, which they call Joint Damage Loss and Need Assessment on the impact of Sidor. There's a good documents there, but then it was not followed properly because of the lack of capacity. There was no training that much, so therefore training was very important, which was left out. Then we have next please. This is the stakeholder consultation or workshop, disaster recovery planning Dhaka. The first time in Bangladesh. It was first time for the government to know also this. We are really happy that, and also congratulate IRP for introducing this concept to Bangladeshi government. And then this is Jerry and Singho who participated as a resource person there. Then there was a recommendation. This recommendation, they recommend that there should be a 3-day workshop on recovery planning, and this should be not only concentrated or not only participated by the Ministry of Disaster itself. There should be the participation should come from the inter-ministry who are concerned with disaster, who are affected by the disaster. Then there is also a proposal that half-day orientation on recovery planning with the parliamentarians will be done also. And so these are actually the things, and there should be also proposal for National Recovery Act, and we also recommend that there should be advocacy for clear articulation of the recovery component in the process of updating national plan for disaster management, I've said. So, which means that DRR to integrate recovery, building back, this is a paradigm shift. DRR to integrate recovery, build back better, step on national recovery platform. Probably we could do it after the 3-day program, and then we could campaign for the predictable fund, and this should be a part of the Recovery Act, and Recovery Reconstruction Authority should be there to make a actually good starting on this resilient recovery things. So the way forward, here we quote Mr. Karu Saitu, Director Disaster Preparedness of the Government of Cabinet Office of the Government of Japan. The recovery component in HFA2 should also be adequately articulated, quantitative, clear-cut, and easy to understand. Target. Additionally, recovery should be more structured, action-oriented, and with clear indicators to monitor progress. Then we have also a very renowned Bangladeshi MP, Sabir Hossain Chowdhury. He's also the president of the Interparliamentary Union. He said the recovery needs further advocacy at the policy and legislative level to outline clear roles of government, departments, and units in implementing recovery programs. Actually, what Sabir Chowdhury said is very important, because government at this level, they are not that much sensitive to this issue. They actually thought that even their mindset is that a disaster might be coming or may come, but relief should be there so that people be fed with relief. And these are the mindset still there, But if government has changed his kind of mindset and come to a resilience recovery policy, then it could be better, because Bangladesh is a poor country. So many of the devastating floods and others, make it even more poorer. So therefore, but the government also announced that they should do the by 2021 it should be a middle income country. So it is very difficult. It will be very difficult if this policy that currently I have, if we pursue this current policy, we must have to change it and come to a resilient recovery reconstruction policy, so that while the flood coming, still school boys can go to the school, and while flood is there, still patient take their medicine from the hospital, so that it becomes a kind of sustainable, and in this way we can overcome the disaster problem. Of course, it's not we cannot do it right away, but if there is a good policy like resilient recovery policy, Build Back Better policy that Philippines has taken, that's why I'm interested how we can push the government to take this policy, so that they can invest before something happen. There should be pre-disaster kind of planning, so that people are prepared. Readiness, they should be ready, so that they could bounce back earlier, and that's the way they could overcome the poverty too. Thank you very much.